Okay, so as we start, these are going to be the least likely trades, okay? So, do I think LeBron James is going to get traded to the Philadelphia 76ers? I don't think that. But think about it. Some of the other honorable mentions are just other teams in the league that I thought about putting them on that you're not going to see in this video. The Detroit Pistons. Riddle me this. Part of me is thinking you're not going to see LeBron James join the Detroit Pistons. You're not going to see him go to the Orlando Magic. Okay? And I can kind of come up with reasons for why he could possibly join these teams. Okay? I don't think LeBron is going to go to a smaller market. That is really the vibe that I get from LeBron. He's not going to go to a small market. He's not just going to show up on some random team to win a championship. It's going to be a big city. Philadelphia is pretty big, so I think it's possible. He ain't going to the Magic, you know? I could see him going to the Nuggets, but there's no. I tried to make it work, man. I tried to send him to the Nuggets, but the Lakers would have to be very interested in Jamal Murray because they don't really have anything to trade. They don't really have any picks to trade. So they'd have to have a fetish for some Murray, which I don't think they do. So what about this? This is kind of I'm curious, you came up with a good trade idea if everyone hates it. If everyone hates it, fans on both sides absolutely think it's awful, then that's actually probably a pretty good trade. If you have a trade idea and there are some people that say, I like it, I like that idea, means you have a bad trade. So what about this? LeBron James going to the Philadelphia 76ers, taking that 1-year contract, going to the Sixers in exchange for Paul George, for 3 more years of Paul George. I'll explain. The Lakers also get an unprotected first-round pick and or Jared McCain. Okay, so this is under the understanding that Paul George is cooked. If you believe in this trade, you believe that the Sixers made a bad choice in signing Paul George to a 4-year deal, and if they could just get off of it, that would be a blessing. And then if they could get LeBron James for a single year, for 1 year, possibly the last year of his career, that's just gravy. So if you're a Paul George believer, you're going to say, what are you talking about? Paul George is going to come back and he's going to kill it for the Sixers. I can see it in my head. He had a hand injury. He had a thigh injury last year. Just circumstantial roadblocks in his career. Shit happens. If you're that person, this trade doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever. Okay? But here's the way I see it. I don't think Paul George is very good. Matter of fact, if you're the guy that I was just imitating, I think you're crazy. Okay? So, I think Philly takes these backsies from last year when they signed Paul George to a 4-year deal for $200 million or whatever. $200 million plus. So they get to say, whew, we get to take back that deal, and we'll see how it goes with LeBron. Maybe he'll be interested in re-signing at the age of 42. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge later, but we can get off of this Paul George contract. We don't have to see him anymore because we think we made a big mistake. But then you would also lose Jared McCain or a first-round pick in 2031 and or both, depending on how good you think Paul George is going to be this year. So if you're the Lakers, you're saying, all right, we'll take Paul George. And really a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today, and it is under the understanding that the Lakers, if you believe the Lakers are like, well, we're going to win a championship this year. Yeah, we're going to get rid of LeBron. And then we're going to win a championship. We're going to win a ring with what we get in return for LeBron. First of all, how? How would that even work? Unless you we're going to get into that. You're going to give a first-round pick. You're going to give away LeBron and a first-round pick if you want to get better this year. But most of the trades that I'm going to be talking about, I'm saying the Lakers are cooked and they're aware. They're looking at their roster and they're like, it's time to reset. Let's take on Paul George's contract if we can get a couple assets back. Because you know what? We're going to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, the West is pretty good. and this team is not good enough. That's sort of where I'm at with the Lakers, so that's sort of how I came with all these trades. So I think they're going to say, yeah, give us Paul George. We'll take the next 3 years of him. Maybe he'll be good, maybe he won't. But even if it's not good, we're sort of figuring it out around Luka, because Luka's going to be the guy on our team for the next 6-7 years. That's my thought. So, moving on. 2. Miami Heat. This would be nice. I think he would go back, because LeBron needs to spin it. It needs to be a part of his narrative. It needs to be part of his story. And that's what we need to think of. LeBron's, wherever he gets traded, when he gets the call from his agent saying, hey, this team's interested, what do you think? He's got to think, okay, but what's the story? How does this fit into my arc? What would be my tweet when I do get traded? Do you know what I mean? He's thinking about his tweet. What would be my tweet? Good to be back with my man Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley. Let's run back 2010, 2011. I've been waiting to come back to Miami. This was my idea. I'm going to Miami by choice. This decision was easy. Easy for me to pull off. This is what I wanted. I have control over my career. So LeBron has to come up with how he's going to spin it in a way that's saying, this is exactly what I wanted to do. I always get what I want. I think he could do it. So he's going to spin it and say, I get to play with my man Spo. I got Bam Adebayo. I love Bam Adebayo. I've been talking about Bam Adebayo for years. I remember when we played them in the finals in 2020. I was watching what he was doing and I said, I got to find my way to eventually play with this guy. He's going to spin this in that way. So the Heat get LeBron James. Then they get off Andrew Wiggins. Listen, I don't think Andrew Wiggins is really good. There are a lot of people that really think so I think the general consensus is like Andrew Wiggins is a loser. But there's a lot of very smart basketball people that say, actually, Andrew Wiggins has a lot of potential. Bro, he went to the Heat last year and the Heat were bad. They were actually, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like they were worse with Andrew Wiggins than we were with the half-assed Jimmy Butler. And they worked really hard to get out of the play-in and into the 8th seed. But man, when they were playing the Cavs, I remember watching and I'm like, dude, I can literally see these guys fantasizing about Cancun. I'm actually seeing their fantasies while I'm watching the basketball game of being on the beach drinking a Mai Tai. I think Wiggins is cooked. So what do you get? If you're the Heat, you get off Wiggins, you get off Terry Rozier. That's one where the Lakers would get that contract and then they would just, waive and stretch him, right? So they waive and stretch him. So in return, what the Lakers would actually get is an unprotected first-round pick in 2029, and then they would get a guy like Jaime Jaquez, maybe some potential, and Nikola Jovic, who's sort of on an upward trajectory. So you're getting potential. You're getting potential and you're getting a first-round pick, and at the end of the day, a lot of these trades, I remind you, things are sour with LeBron. He gets his 1-and-1s. He turns down his player option. He signs a new 1-and-1. Didn't happen this year. It's got to be nasty, man. And I'm doing this video because I can really tell something's up. Something's up. So I think this sort of works for them. They can get rid of LeBron. He's on they're going to let him walk for nothing. If they don't trade him, he walks for nothing. So they might as well get something out of him. Oh, and Bronny is in this deal. Bronny's in here too to make the salaries work. And I think that, I don't know how it's going to go down, but I could see that being a part of it. Most of the Lakers saying, by the way, we're going to tack on an extra $2 million because it doesn't really matter. The salaries are going to match anyway because it's such a nominal amount of money. LeBron literally makes 25 times as much as his son. We're going to throw him on here too, just so we have an extra roster spot. Because I'm going to be honest with you. We, the Lakers, we only drafted LeBron James because of his dad. We weren't going to draft him with the 53rd pick in 2024. We did it as a favor to his father. Secret's out. So Minnesota Timberwolves, another team. Do I actually think it's going to happen? No, it's kind of a small market. But could we get LeBron in eight Ant? I almost said AD. Could we get LeBron and Ant together? Because one thing, Mike Conley's not doing it anymore. Excellent career. Very long career. Good job. Had a couple good years for the Timberwolves. But they need more creation than just Anthony Edwards. They need someone that can get buckets, all right? So we're going to start Naz Reid, and we're going to kick Rudy Gobert over to the Lakers. Now we're going to get Luka screaming at Rudy while he's on his team. That'll be fun. We'll get some, and then maybe Rudy will punch Luka in the chest. It's going to be a fun season. I think this is going to be awesome. I got a feeling though, if what do you think? If Rob Pelinka talks to Luka and says, "Hey, we got a deal going with the Timberwolves, involves Rudy Gobert for LeBron," how do you feel? Catch some lobs? What do you think? I guarantee you Luka's like, absolutely not. I will not sign a contract extension if that guy's on my team. Like, oh, okay, fair enough. All right. I don't know. I'm not sure. But, hey, listen. The Lakers got killed by Rudy in the playoffs. They couldn't get rebounds. Rudy would be there. They need a center. DeAndre Ayton, he could be the backup. Dante DiVincenzo, that's a good player. That's anyone in the league wants a Dante DiVincenzo at $11 million. A 3-and-D. I got a 3-and-D fetish. Everybody got one, Everybody horny for Dante D. What's DVD? DDV? Is that it? Is that all I got on this slide? I think so. The Golden State Warriors. Again, this is one where I could actually see LeBron going there because I think he would like the narrative. I think he could say, I had to play with my best friend, Steph Curry. Oh, I didn't tell you we were best friends? Oh, yeah. He's my best friend. We've been best friends for a long time. And this is my choice because I said to myself, I have to play with my best friend. He's got a nice narrative going on. He can make this into his own decision. So I think this could happen. Here's what the deal would be. You get Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga does a $25 million deal with the Golden State Warriors, traded his ass to the Lakers. Okay? Can you convince a lot of people? Again, the same motherfuckers that like Andrew Wiggins, like Jonathan Kuminga. There's some guys that can just sort of see the future potential. I'm not a Kuminga guy, but maybe Pelinka is. Maybe he's interested. So you get Kuminga, you get Buddy Hield, who's you hope is having a good night. He's still, if you look at his three-point percentages, he is some of the best three-point percentages ever, season to season. And then Moses Moody, system guy. So what do you think? Again, these are small packages for LeBron because it's an expiring deal. So if you're for LeBron James, it's it's going to be 41, and then you're getting a rental. So keep that in mind. So the Lakers get more athletic. They get a small forward who people say is good. And Warriors could get a proper, this is the last chance crew. We got Jimmy. We got Steph. We got LeBron. And then you sign Al Horford, and you're like, this is it. There's going to be a Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated cover where they're all you can see it, can't you? All four of them on there. Al Horford's in the very back. Okay, the Clippers could do it. And this was one where I got a little fun. I got a little creative. Kawhi Leonard. This works, straight up. Kawhi Leonard for LeBron James. All right, so I can sort of... If you're the Clippers, you have to be yeah, we're good. Let's just take a year of LeBron. We are trying to pack out this stadium. From what I've heard, I have not been to a Clippers game yet, but from what I've heard, a lot of empty seats. So this sort of works for the Clippers because they're we've seen a lot of Kawhi. He's been here for a long time. We've seen him play the basketball a lot. Maybe we've seen enough. Maybe we've got all the Kawhi basketball for a lifetime. And then we can get LeBron James in here and actually put some butts in seats. Are we going to be better? I don't know. I don't even care. Let's just get him in here. And also, so you're getting a more durable player. LeBron, even at his age, I think dude, Kawhi is 33. Bro, Kawhi is 33. And he's more durable. And he's less durable than LeBron. Bro. I think this works. I think this works because Kawhi has 2 more years left on that deal. And I think the Clippers, he played 37 games last year. And they got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Dude, the Clippers are going to say, yeah, give us LeBron. We are done. And I think they're going to pop a bottle of champagne to have Kawhi off their books. They're going to be proud of themselves for actually making the decision to move on from Kawhi. That's my thought. So you get LeBron, and then you actually have a pretty decent team if you're the Lakers next year. You got Kawhi. And again, you're taking on a lot of these guys with the thought that you're building a team around Luka. That you don't necessarily want to win a championship next year, but you're sort of building for the future around Luka once he signs his extension. In 3 or 4 years, he'll be back in the finals and you'll win a championship. That's my thought. I like it. The Houston Rockets. Now, what do you think of this? All right, so Alperen Şengün. They're going to have to give something up. This is the thing. And I know Rockets fans are going to say, that's our best player. We're not trading our best player. Especially on a $34 million contract. I don't know if his extension, I think maybe this is the first year of that extension. I'm not sure. And then Reed Shepherd. You're probably like, he's good. You probably know you're not really into Reed Shepherd, but you're trying to make the case for why you don't want this trade. So now you're all about Reed Shepherd. I know you. I'm in your fucking head. Then you throw Aaron Holiday and Jeff Green, league minimums to make the contracts work. Neither team is in the second apron, so we can aggregate contracts just fine. So the Rockets would get a first-round pick back from the Lakers. They'd get their 2032 first-round pick. They got to give them something. If they're giving away their best player, they got to give them something. For just 1 year of LeBron James. So the way I'm going to sell you this is you are getting the better player. Even at his age, you're getting LeBron James, and you're pairing him with Kevin Durant. And this isn't one of those things where I'm trying to sell you on Russell Westbrook and say you're getting Russell Westbrook because you know he's cooked. You know his game is chopped. LeBron is still good, and he's better than Alperen Şengün. So if you're the Rockets and you're saying, let's win today, I think it's an okay deal. I don't think the Rockets are going to like it because they like Alpy. But I actually think this is a pretty good deal. Again, though, I hope the Lakers Lakers fans are going to like it. Obviously. This is going to be the one trade that Lakers fans are Anyway, maybe you got to throw in 2 first-round picks. I don't even think the Lakers have 2 first-round picks available, but I don't know. Let me know. I'll reply to your comments. So the Mavericks. People were talking about this one. I didn't really see it. I thought Kyrie would have to be in the deal. But he wouldn't. So this is how it would go down. You throw Daniel Gafford in and PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, and Max Christie going back to the Lakers because you got to make the contracts work. Right now, the Mavs don't have a lot of huge contracts on their books. They have a lot of small contracts. I think they keep Klay Thompson. I think you keep Klay. And then you go and you trade Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington to the Lakers and bring the boys back together. Because Luka's going to be like, those are the homies. I've been through war with those guys. I went to the finals with them. So I think he gets excited about that. And he's got a lob catcher with Daniel Gafford. He's pleased. I think he's into it. So I think you can sell it to the Lakers because I think you can sell it to Luka. The problem is for the Mavs, they're going to have a very top-heavy, because they have Kyrie, who's, I don't know, I think he's making $40 million after that extension, so $40 million, and then you've got AD max contract and LeBron max contract. It doesn't offer you a lot of wiggle room. And then your next highest paid player is going to be Klay Thompson. So their team is just going to be very top heavy. They're working with like Caleb Martin, Dwight Powell, really cheap contracts. So it does work. You can make this happen. And I don't think I'm curious if I did a you know how you can premiere a video on YouTube? If I did that, I wouldn't do it because I'd be too pussy to see what's going on in the chat. I might shut the premiere down just because people are criticizing me so much. I'm very insecure. We can move on. SAS, the San Antonio Spurs. Okay. So, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sochan. I don't think those players are very good. All right? They have really great moments at times. Keldon Johnson, I think he wants to move on. I remember some Spurs fan was saying, Keldon Johnson likes being a six-man. He's liked the role that he's gone into. He's liking getting less minutes. And the crowd loves him. I remember someone saying that in a response when I was saying that Keldon Johnson probably wants to move to a team where he starts. And it made me realize that you can argue any point. You really can. You can argue any point. You could say it's better to live in one of those cages in Hong Kong than it is to live in a palace in Beverly Hills. Because you could say, yeah, but like the ventilation in the cage, the wind goes right through it. Oh, also, there's a window on the opposite side of the building in Hong Kong, and you have the best view of the city. And the drinking fountain is actually got a special filter on it, so the water is purer than any other place in the world. So I think living in a cage in Hong Kong is... Why would anyone want to leave it? And you can't say that any of those things are wrong. Like, I guess you're right. I don't know how to say... I don't know how to say the stuff you value sucks. Because if you value it, what am I to say? Like, actually, you have a very weird value system? Keldon Johnson wants to move on. I think he wants to move on. I think he wants to go somewhere... Because I feel like the team's moving on without him. They got Sochan, now they got Dylan Harper coming in. And then Devin Vassell, you're going to have to... So I think the Lakers are going to need to give up the 2027 pick from Atlanta that the Spurs have to get off of Vassell. Because Vassell's a decent player, but he's overpaid, and that contract goes on for another 3 or 4 years. And then you got Sochan's expiring contract. Maybe you want to do something with that. Maybe not. Because what I'm really saying is it's not about the players that are coming back. It's about the pick, and then maybe you can do something with Keldon Johnson. It's about that pick, really, though. Because the Spurs get off Vassell's contract. I don't think they want to be on it. And Lakers get some potential talent and a first-round pick. And like I said, at the very bottom, none of the Spurs players are good. They're not bad, but they're not. The Lakers are not going to be excited about any of these players. I hate to break it to you. What about this one? Now, I think what do the Lakers fans think of Karl-Anthony Towns? I think he might be the most polarizing player in the league. I had him as my first team All-NBA when I did my first team All-NBA list. Not that I actually vote for that stuff. I realized just when I said it, it sounded like I actually had a vote. I do not have a vote. I don't know anything about basketball. No one would dare. I would look down upon the NBA if they gave a guy like me a vote. But when I made my YouTube list, I said Karl-Anthony Towns was first team All-NBA. And I had LeBron James as second team All-NBA. So the Lakers get back Karl-Anthony Towns on a giant mega max, super max contract. I think he's got 2 or 3 more years left on it. So he'd be a part of the Lakers' future. And then the Knicks would get back LeBron James. And the incentive for the Knicks is their payroll is getting really big. They're not over the second apron, but they've got OG. Mikal's going to want to get re-signed. He's only making $25 million right now. And then Mitchell Robinson isn't making a lot of money, and both of those guys only have one more year on their contract. So they're going to come knocking and say, hey, my contract's about to run out. I might just go walk off and sign with what team has cap space? None. I don't know, now that I think about it, but Mikal Bridges is going to want money. Mitchell Robinson is going to want money, and these contracts are expiring. So you get LeBron for 1 year, and this is exciting. This is basketball fan porn. You get LeBron James in Madison Square Garden. The sidewalk TV boys are out there blowing loads on the sidewalk. They're into it. That's going to be the most expensive seat, especially if he says, this is my last season. Bro, Knicks won't even care if they win. They already won. We got LeBron James. 1 more year. Retirement season. People are going to come out to see the fucking GOAT. I think this would work. And the Lakers get Karl-Anthony Towns. They get the better end of the basketball trade. They get a younger guy on a longer contract. What do you think? I don't hate it. Okay, so this is the one that gets a little bit tricky. And this is the most likely. I think this is the most LeBron gets his narrative. I think this makes the most sense. If he comes back, my retirement season is with the Cavs. I just had to bring it back home to Cleveland. I just had to do it. This was part of my plan all along. I've been plotting my whole life. I just kind of do whatever I want to do. I got it all under control. So he gets traded for Darius Garland, Lonzo Ball. That makes it work. Here's the thing. I know the Cleveland Cavaliers are over the second apron right now, so they can't aggregate contracts. So it would take some finessing to get them under so that they can actually make this trade work. How are they going to do that? Smarter people than me can figure it out. Rest assured, GMs know what they're doing. So if they go and they trade Darius Garland, who the Lakers will love. Darius Garland, look at his stats, man. Dude shot 40% from 3 last year. He's incredible, and he's young. Lakers are getting the better end of this deal, okay? Really, what the Cavs are going to be try to be doing with this, that doesn't make grammatical sense either. What the Cavs are going to try to do with this transaction, get a little bit of money off their books. Nobody can pay luxury tax forever. Nobody wants to hit the repeater tax. Listen, they have Darius Garland, and they're going to get back a Lakers first-round pick in 2032, and then they're going to get their guy, LeBron James, back for 1 more season, pair him up with Mitchell Robinson. They keep Jarrett Allen. They have Evan Mobley. That's a good squad. And I've heard a lot of smarter basketball people than me say that that's not a better team than with Darius Garland. And that was surprising to me, because I still think LeBron is better than Darius Garland. I think he provides more value than Darius Garland. Am I wrong about that? Because when I heard that, I thought I'd take LeBron, even though Darius Garland's one of my favorite players. Hit me up. And then Lonzo Ball is just there to make the money work. But this is what I would like to see. And I do think LeBron is getting traded. I've said this for a long time. I think I am the most confident that LeBron is going to get traded, because here's what I'm seeing. Here's why I'm saying this, is because every time the rumors die down a bit and the talking heads say, well, he's going to retire a Laker. I know we like to talk about this stuff, but he's going to retire a Laker at the end of the day. What are we really talking about here? Because I think everyone's a little bit embarrassed to talk about LeBron James, because everyone's like, man, I'm a hoops head. I know what's going on. I want to talk about Desmond Bane. I want to talk about who's another player people really like that nobody knows. I want to talk about Pascal Siakam's spin move. I want to talk about dribble handoffs. And it's kind of a basic bitch move to talk about LeBron James. So they sort of apologize for it and say, yeah, but he's not getting traded. Dude, I think he is getting traded. I think it's happening. Because every time the rumor mill dies down, LeBron does something to kick the hornet's nest. Or Rich Paul does something to kick the hornet's nest. Because I think he's like, I'm letting you know I don't want to be here. So when the tension sort of subsides, I need to bring that tension back up. I need to do something. Because I do not want to start the season as a Laker. That's my theory on this. We'll actually see what happens in the upcoming weeks. Honestly, I thought he was going to get traded 2 weeks ago. But hopefully he doesn't get traded tonight on Sunday night before this video comes out. Or on Monday. And all my speculation and all my ideas are sort of moot. So, join the Patreon. It's $2. I have to pitch it as the money. It is so cheap. It's $2. And I do a weekly podcast, and it's always over 40 minutes. Sometimes it's over 50 minutes. I enjoy it. I really am having a good time doing it, and I enjoy replying to the comments on those videos. Now, am I acting desperate? Be good to your mothers. Join the Patreon.